Hey y'all, and welcome to this episode of Tea with Taylor. I thought I was going to do this episode kind of on just reflection and lessons I've learned because it's my birthday coming up, and maybe you'll find it interesting, maybe you'll find it relatable. Otherwise, I just think it'd be cool for me to kind of reflect and document this time in my life. So with that being said, let's get into it. But like I said, I'm turning 27 on St. Patrick's Day, so coming up here. And even though I'm turning 27 and a lot of, my friends and we're getting so old. Everyone kind of says that as you grow up, but I feel still very young. And obviously I am in the grand scheme of life, but I just kind of feel like my life's just getting started. I find this life, like the real world, much more exciting than like college. I like challenging myself. I like taking on responsibility rather than just going to school, which I was like, and partying. And like, your girl likes to party once in a while, don't get me wrong, but just once in a while, I find challenging myself and trying to become somebody much more exciting than a night at the bar. Just kind of where I've been. And like I said, I wasn't the best student, and I feel like I've learned more in the real world than I did in college. Obviously, just working and growing up, but I've read many more books and I've studied and podcasts. I feel like I've had to relearn stuff, or at least, I don't know. I just didn't learn that much in school, okay? But yeah, so that excites me. The real world excites me. Learning more. I moved to a new state. I moved into Illinois. I'm originally from Michigan when I was just 22. And that helped develop me personally, because for those of you who do know me, I'm quite shy and I'm an introvert. Well, when you move to a new state and you start a new job where you don't know anyone, you have to push yourself outside your comfort zone in order to gain social skills and, be comfortable in uncomfortable positions, to adapt to a new surrounding and a new people, just so you can fit in and get by into an area where you don't know anyone and you're starting off pretty much fresh. And so I had to really develop those social skills and push myself outside my comfort zone to make friends, to socialize people in the workspace. So that was quite difficult, but now I've become much better at socializing, creating conversation. Obviously being a realtor helped with that too, because I've had to learn how to listen a lot better while I'm talking to people on what they're looking for. And that's kind of always the route that I went when I would meet new people. Like, okay, if you're shy and you don't know what to talk about, just ask questions, because then people usually answer, and a lot of people like to talk about themselves. So if you ask questions, you can usually make conversation. I moved out here, like I said, when I was 22. So once I moved out here, I also, because I didn't have any friends or family around, I kind of eliminated all distractions. So I delved into books and I got interested in learning about real estate. So I was like, okay, started going to real estate meetings, and I started kind of just pushing my limits as far as knowledge goes and learning more, as well as pushing myself and my limits into doing things that I normally wouldn't do, like going to these meetups to meet investors, which ultimately, I would go there and I wanted to learn from them because I knew I wanted to get into real estate. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing, but these older, more established investors or people realized that I was young, I was asking questions, I was interested, I was ready to hustle. Like, I wanted to work, and they appreciated that and they recognized that. So I definitely put yourself in those situations, because people who have done it or are more established in the field you want to learn about, they recognize someone who's hungry and interested and has potential. And sometimes they'll see that potential before even you do, and they might take a risk on you. But I would go there and I would offer my services for free. I used to put out signs at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I fucking hated it. It gave me anxiety. I did not like it. But I did it for a while. I put like 100 signs out. But even though I didn't get anything from that, it showed that I was willing to work. And then that's how I ended up working for my partner, Chris Davis. And he asked if I wanted to work with him as a realtor, and I was working at Sears as a buyer at the time. And I was like, okay, obviously we all knew kind of what was going on with Sears. I knew my job wasn't forever. So for about like 8 months, I worked for both. I worked at Sears during the day, realtor at night, and then on the weekends as well, until I got laid off at Sears. But it was fine because I wanted to quit anyways. But I would have never found these opportunities as far as working with Chris, who helped me buy my house, and now I'm helped me buy a 2-flat where I live in 1 unit, rent the other. He helped me with tenants. He helped me with my leases every time something goes wrong, because trust me, things will go wrong. And it kind of sucked with my mom and other people not being a phone call away. At least I had Chris. Like when I had tenants, and yes, things just definitely go wrong. But I was putting myself in these situations to meet people, to open up for more opportunities at a very young age. Like I said, I was 22. I bought my house at 23. So I became a homeowner and a landlord at 23, which was difficult and stressful at times, but I think it's really good to put on as much responsibility that you can handle as early as possible, because then you can grow and kind of encounter these challenges early on and learn how to navigate through them and learn how to have difficult conversations early on. And of course you're gonna have mistakes, of course you're gonna have failures and stress and tearful nights, but if you do that earlier in life, you're just gonna get better. And of course those situations are gonna keep recurring in different forms, but you'll learn how to overcome obstacles and problems and solve problems in an easier, maybe less stressful way, even though there's always going to be stress. Like one time I had tenants and I had an issue with the basement and she's blowing up my phone and I'm at Electric Forest. And I'm like, oh God, really? Right now? It's always at the worst times. It's always something, but it's always something at the worst time. So I'm at Electric Forest. Thank God my mom, I could like call her and she would help me out. And there was other times where that would happen and I'm like crying and my mom's like, do you want to move home? No, I don't want to move home, but I'm stressed and I'm crying. So let's not act like it's ever easy. But in order to accomplish things, you have to go the non-easy route. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, and doing everything everyone else is doing. Like nothing worth having comes easy. And I think us as a society need to realize that, because we need to stop being so envious of what we see, because a lot of what we see isn't all the work and the years that it led up to. It's just now we only see their success, and success comes with a lot more than just materialistic things and maybe fame or the profile and the money that come along with it. The stress, the hours worked, the failure to the success. And I'm not even saying I have lived through a lot of this or encountered a lot of this, but I surround myself with people who have, and I have a little bit, so I just can only understand. Like I'm pretty successful for my age, but for what I want to be, I'm like, okay, if I had to go through these obstacles and these challenges just to gain this amount of success that I have, I only know it's going to progress. The more successful I want, the more stress I'll have, the more work that I'll have to do, the more obstacles and problems I'll have to solve. So I think, like I said, if you put responsibility on you at a very young age, you learn that quicker. And not saying it gets easier as far as, I don't know, I don't think it'll ever get easier, but you'll get mentally stronger, so you'll be able to manage it better. And so that's been really helpful to me, and I plan on investing, in real estate my whole life, so it's glad that I got into that early on. I'm developing these social skills. I'm more confident in myself, which helps me not only in job, in, kind of in every aspect of your life when you feel more comfortable and confident in yourself. So there are a few things that I like to reflect on and lessons I've learned. Like I kind of said a little bit ago about me learning more in the real world and the books I've listened to, I also kind of took that journey in the last few years to books, podcasts, and that's helped me develop mentally and prepare me for the future as well. Like when I first started getting into real estate, Bigger Pockets, like every day I would listen to their podcast. When I was trying to figure out, I really liked Gary Vee and like his thoughts on not caring what other people think. Just do it before you're ready. Put content out there and pivot and make adjustments as you go, but get started. Get started before you're ready, otherwise, because you'll never really be ready. And if you keep kind of telling yourself that, you'll never start. So things like me doing these videos, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. Who knows where it'll go? If I like talking about these things and I think they're important, might as well just put it out there and see where it goes. I'm kind of just, just doing it for fun, as well as it helps me conceptualize what I think and what I believe, and I never know where it could take you, you know what I mean? So if you kind of potentially put things out there, it could create additional opportunities that you otherwise wouldn't have if you just get started and see where life takes you. So Gary Vee, I used to listen to all the time, Jordan Peterson, just kind of learning, obviously, his amazing mind and how he conceptualizes things, but that life's really hard, that you have a lot of control in your life and you have a lot of things that you can't control. The things you can control, get that in order, because life is chaotic. Like he says, chaos and order. Life is chaos. You can't control everything, but the things you can control, get in order. And that's another thing, which I know like Jocko, he talks about, discipline is freedom. I've learned to become very disciplined. If it's my fitness, waking up, my house, always clean, reading books, challenging myself, because once you are disciplined, you see results, you create some level of success or stability in your life, it gives you the freedom to do other things. For example, I would say like right now as a real estate agent, I struggle sometimes finding that life work balance, because with my phone, clients can contact me all the time. Well, let's say you establish yourself enough, and because right now I just have been going full commission for now a little over 2 years. I want it all. Like I need that money. I want to move to Florida. I want to start my own business. I need that money. Well, eventually, if you build yourself up enough, you'll have, once you get to that level of success, you'll have that freedom to turn things down. And real estate, just an example, like let's say a client's driving you nuts, maybe you don't have to work with them. And I would say that goes in life when people finally, I guess, hit that break where they're making enough money and they can turn down jobs they maybe didn't want to do because they have that financial backing or those additional opportunities where they have freedom to choose what they want to do. But the only way they got to that choice and those opportunities was from the years of discipline, finding routine, challenging themselves, doing things you don't want to do, and just keep doing it, trying to create those habits. Even when you fall short, to keep doing it, try again, because you're gonna fall short. And you're gonna have better days and you're gonna have worse days, and you gotta figure out how to get through them. And so I try to, like I always say, I don't think I'm that smart, but I listen to and I learn from smart people. I like to listen to, if it's for podcasts or read books or just follow people who are successful and real. I like authenticity and to show, just keep it real. Just keep it real, as well as surrounding myself with like people like Chris, who does a lot of real estate investing, seeing the possibilities. Not saying I want to do just that, but that he did this in this many years, this is how he did it, and I can repeat what he did or learn from it and repeat it, and then just make tweaks that work better for me. Because everything most likely that you want to do in your life has been done. Now, I'm not saying you should just copy everything from someone, you have to be yourself, but replicate what they want to do and then just tweak it or adjust it to what fits you better. So those are kind of the things that I've learned and reflected on. I think turning 27, and like I said, I'm only excited. I feel like I'm just getting started, and I plan on putting my house up for sale in August and moving to Florida. Again, speaking that into existence, because I'm going to make it happen. Very excited to have Florida be my home. I just belong there, and live in a freer state, because Illinois, they got me fucked up, So I'm excited to move there, and I'm going to end up starting my own business. I've already started it, it's in the works. I will have a clothing company. Don't sleep on me, it's gonna happen. But I've been kind of doing that on the side because my focus has been real estate right now and just saving up my money and planning for the future. And then that's kind of my next step. Selling my house, buying a place in Florida. I'll end up starting a business. I kind of want to keep doing these videos and learning intellectually that way and talking about these important issues, from politics to business, finances, culture, and just doing it how I want to do it. And maybe you guys will find it interesting, educational, and keep up with me. So we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of my reflection and lessons I've learned so far. Turning 27, like I said, I'm excited for the future. It's been exciting. I've been growing closer, my relationship closer to God, and I realize Him in aspects of my life a lot more than I otherwise probably did, and that's exciting. Like I said, I want to learn a lot more about the Bible and things of that nature, so I've been taking the time to do that. And that's really it. That's kind of what I want to talk about. And I've been blessed for these last 26, almost 27 years. And like I said, I'm excited for the future. So thanks for joining me on my birthday edition with Tea with Taylor. And I hope you guys have a great day, and God bless.